All right, Laura Clark here, back with I lost track, what track? Part 4, I think. We're talking about compensation plan and breaking these up into smaller videos into one, instead of one really long hour. I mean, I could literally take an hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half to talk about the whole compensation plan. But breaking them up into smaller videos so that as you have time to watch them, start with one. It just makes more sense if you start with one and go in order. Today we're talking about leadership bonus and pools, and we've already talked about Fast Start and having 100 LRP. That was in number 1. And in number 2, we talked about Power of 3 bonus and how it's awesome, but don't build for it, and because it will hold you back. And number 3, we talked about unilevel bonus. There's more to that than I explained, but that is the gist of it. It's not that it's complicated, it's that it's a lot and a lot of information. So, but that is the simplified version of unilevel bonus. And tonight we're going to talk about leadership pools. This is part 4, I think. So we're going to talk about leadership bonus. Stephanie Martin did a video on this whole compensation plan. She did a video on this, and now that you're a builder, you have access to Dream Team. If you're not in Dream Team, you need to reach out to me, and I need to add you to that. That is Kristen Pardue's building private page, and the sources that we have with this company, the resources that we have with this company are amazing. Kristen Pardue, she's our upline, but Stephanie Martin is not. She's a sweet, dear friend that I met when we were both very young. We were in Nashville together, and I met her through another thing I was in called Sprint to Silver, and I had met somebody named Courtney, who is now a very dear friend of mine, lives in Pennsylvania. She's cross-line for me. That means we do not earn from each other's business. We are cross-line. I didn't enroll her. She didn't enroll me. She's nowhere in my upline. We're nowhere in each other's upline or downline. We are cross-line. Stephanie Martin enrolled her, and I met Stephanie while Stephanie was a platinum in Nashville. And so you will learn about other people and their journey, and you will, besides in our close, tight-knit community, you will, because of events and because of groups and because of trainings, you will get to be friends, dear friends, with other people in this organization. There is not a spirit of competition in doTERRA. There is a spirit of abundance. There is a spirit of celebrating each other's victories. There is not a spirit of enrolling other people's contacts, and there's not a spirit of jealousy. In fact, we are celebrated for our uniqueness and for our place in our journey, and we're not judged by the length of time that we took to get somewhere. Okay, so Stephanie Martin did a compensation webinar, and it is available to you to watch in Dream Team. And let me know if you want to watch that whole thing, because it's always nice. I am not offended by that. It's always nice to see how other people say and word things. I learned so much from her. I know all about the compensation plan, but I'm using Stephanie's screenshots and using them to build my own class. I teach at Millstream in Findlay, and I teach business classes there. So doTERRA business classes. So I had loved her presentation so much that I took screenshots of everything in that video. And you're going to see a couple of those tonight because they're really useful. So we have this in the build, in this build brochure that I've asked you to get. Get one from me, download it from online, get it in your back office, You can use it digitally. You can get a hard copy. You can print it out online. Get this. It will help you to stay focused. And while I do like some of Stephanie's visuals better, it's still in here. Once you understand it, you'll get it. All right. So leadership bonuses are also, what did I tell you? So Fast Start is the only thing you get weekly. Fast money. It's Fast Start. You enroll somebody, and for the first 60 days, you earn 20% of anything they buy. After they drop off of Fast Start, you earn a percentage based on the level of where they placed you at. So one thing we have not talked about in any of these videos yet is the difference between sponsorship and enrollership. So I'm going to give you an example of that. Let me think. So when I enrolled, Jessica Easter enrolled me, and she enrolled her mom at the same time. Jessica enrolled me at one of Jessica's first ever classes, and she enrolled her mother at one of her first ever classes. She also enrolled Robin, and I might have been all that day, right? Well, at the time, Jamie and I, my husband and I, were looking at opening up a coffee shop and a gift shop. And I had already talked to them. I didn't know anything about doTERRA except that they were essential oils, and I was going to a class to hear about them. And then once I found that out, then I started to research them, and I stumbled across Young Living and other brands and the controversy and the lawsuit. And I had this feeling, this sense from everything that I was reading that I wanted doTERRA. I didn't want the other. And now I'm going to a class, so I'm going to learn about doTERRA. So now I'm knowing what I know. Sure am glad that I came across doTERRA first, because I would have ended up switching. So anyways, I went to Jessica's class. I enrolled, Sherry enrolled, Robin enrolled. Jessica knew that I wanted to have these essential oils. We're allowed to put them on a shelf. I wanted to sell them retail at my gift shop. So she knew I was interested in it as a business. She enrolled me, and she enrolled her mom, and she enrolled Robin. But the other two were not interested in it as a business. And because Jessica was a new builder, and she understood that you have to place people under people to grow and rank. We'll talk about rank in a little bit. So she gave me the sponsorship of Robin and her mom, Sherry, right? So she said, okay, this is Jessica, and this is me. She enrolled me, and she enrolled Robin, and she enrolled Sherry. So she had 3 people in her front row. She had a certain length of time to make this decision. She knew that I wanted to do it as a business. So she took Sherry and put her underneath me, and she took Robin and put her underneath me. So now here's Jessica, here's me, and underneath me is Sherry and Robin. Jessica is still their enroller. She's their enroller, but she gave the leadership to me as a sponsor. I sponsor those 2. Jessica still teaches. We're all in Jessica's group, and we all learn from each other there. But I earn everything from having those 2 ladies underneath me. I put people underneath Sherry quite a bit, but I am their sponsor, and I make all of those incomes that we've talked about so far, except Fast Start. So I'm Robin's enroller. So let's say I'm her sponsor, but Jessica is still her enroller. She never gave enrollership to me of Robin. Robin's not doing it as a business. She did have somebody under her, but she doesn't really do it as a business. So if that ever came to be, Jessica could always give me her enrollership. That's possible, but there's no need to do that now. There's going to be reasons in the future. If I've enrolled you and you become a builder and you start to grow, there is a chance that I may be giving people that I put underneath you, I'm their enroller and I've given you sponsorship. There's going to be times when I might need to give you that enrollership. So I'm trying to decide which direction to go to teach this to you. So, and which graphic to show you. Let me share my screen. We'll use the little power of 3 guys. We're not talking about exactly power of 3 right now. So let's say this is me, and I have Sherry and Heather and Tracy. Now, all of these women, I have placed tons of people underneath them in all different levels, tons of people. I still hold all of those people's enrollership, but because I put them all underneath Sherry and Heather and Tracy, I gave them sponsorship. They're underneath them. Everybody I put underneath Tracy, she is now their sponsor. But I am still their enroller. There was a reason, and this happened with Heather, and this happened with Sherry. There was a reason I will not go into now, but it had to do with ranking up. I gave a couple people to Sherry. She already had them under her, so I had already given them sponsorship. But at some point, I needed to give Sherry enrollership. I did that on all 3 of my levels. I needed to do that to help them to rank up, which helped me to rank up. You do not have to worry about that as a new builder because it's not going to happen for a while. But what will happen is when you enroll somebody, that you start putting them under other people. You are going to give sponsorship all the time. If you did not give sponsorship, if you kept enroller and sponsorship yourself, that means that you would have 100 people on this front row. Let's say in a year you've enrolled 100 people and you kept them all on your front row. Well, you're only going to make 2% from your commissions from that. You're not going to have any chance of power of 3. You're not going to have any chance of earning rank. You're just going to have 100 people in your front row. You want to, as a team culture and to grow your business and rank up and to get these other bonuses, you want to put people under people. All right. So I have put people underneath people and all 3 and more. I put people underneath other people up here too, but we're just talking about my basic 3. So I gave sponsorship. I always give sponsorship now. The only reason now that I would keep somebody in my top row is if somebody came on as a brand new person and said, like, these products are amazing. I want to sell this. And they were serious about it and committed and capable. That's the only reason right now that I would keep anybody on my top row. If I have somebody that comes to me and says, these products are amazing, I think I want to sell them, I think I want to have some classes, I don't put them in my top row. They're still builders or sharers, but you win by putting builders and sharers under your builders and sharers to help them grow. It's amazing. You won't get it until you start to get it. All right, so leadership bonuses, let's go up to that. First of all, I need to explain to you what these leaders are. So leadership bonuses will not start until you become a premier. So I tell everybody to build towards premier. And your first couple classes, you can easily become elite, which means I would say you could probably have 6 classes. So in 1 or 2 months, it might take you longer. You're not in a race. Some people are in a race. Stephanie Martin and Kristen Pardue were in a race. Not against each other. They were in a race for time because they had something that needed to be done now financially, and they did it, and they did it fast. An average elite might take 2 months to get to elite, and maybe in those 2 months had 6 to 8 classes. So now they have approximately 3,000 in volume underneath them. I got to elite very, very quickly, and I also got to premier very, very quickly. But it took me a long time to get between those two because of Power of Three. Totally messed me up. Elite is just somebody who has 3,000. They have you probably have approximately 15 people, and a lot of them are on LRP, and you're enrolling more people, and you have approximately you have at least 3,000 in volume total in your organization. At an elite with these particular numbers, you will be making approximately an extra $365 a month. You know what? That's somebody's car payment. So that's nothing to sneeze at. When I was making $300, $400 a month, that was huge for us. That was big for us. That was extra fun money that we had to spend with our grandkids. It was actually traveling back and forth to Grand Rapids. It was a few less hours I had to pick up in contingent tax. So it's a big deal. $400, what can you do? What can you do with $400 extra a month? Every month, okay? So not just the first time you hit elite, but every time that you hit it. As a premier, this is people with 2 people underneath them, and each of those 2 people have at least 2,000 in their legs with an overall team volume of 5,000. So do you remember I told you I have Sherry and Heather and Tracy underneath me, but I do have other people up here, and they have a couple of people here or there underneath them. So, but I need Sherry and Heather to each make 2,000 in their legs, and then let's say Tracy's a really strong leg that I have. She is a builder, but for now I can count Tracy's into the 5,000, but I need at least a minimum of 2 legs with 2,000 volume in each, which means an executive. Remember what an executive is? Oh, did they not talk about executive here? Oh, they don't talk about executive. Somewhere else I showed you an executive is somebody who in the other graph, an executive is somebody who has 2,000 in volume. A premier is somebody who has 2 executives plus an additional 1,000 anywhere else in their legs organization. A silver, an elite is 3,000. A silver is when you have 3 elites underneath you. I'm silver. Sherry, Heather, and Tracy are always elite. When I hit gold, Sherry had 2 legs underneath her. She had Nicole and Kathy, and she became premier. Heather had 2 legs underneath her, Hillary and Chelsea, who met these requirements of 2,000 PV, plus I had other people on my team that helped me to get to these numbers. Tracy had Michelle and Danielle as her 2 legs that had 2,000 PV, and Tracy had an overall volume of 5,000 PV. I had 3 premiers underneath me, and that made me gold. My next stop is platinum, and that is when I help Sherry and Heather and Tracy all get to silver. And a silver is when you have 3 legs underneath you that are elite. That's all it is. See how it repeats? This platinum has 3 silvers. This gold has 3 premiers. This silver has 3 elites. It's very repetitive. Everything is built on elites and premier. Once you become elite, you're able, now you know, just like being a product of the product, being a product of business teaches you how to earn, how to bring in more business. Once you become an elite, you saw how you did that. How did I become an elite? Oh, I had 6 classes within 2 months, which gave me 3,000 in volume. Okay, I know how to do that now. I can teach other people how to become elite. and they can teach other people how to become elite. And before you know it, you're platinum. So the reason I'm talking to you about these three, at least premier, is because that premier is when the leadership bonuses start. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm going to go to Stephanie's figures. I really hope that you can see this in sharing my screen. If you cannot, oh, that will stink. If I go and watch this and I cannot see these images because they're in a different place of sharing my screen, I'll somehow get them to you. Let me know. So there's Stephanie. She was teaching this and I was taking screenshots. Yeah, I can't. The only way I know how to do it is to open up a picture and hope that you're seeing this. So leadership performance. Okay, we're not going to talk about Premier quite yet because it's not on here. So leadership bonus, doTERRA says, this is on top of all the other bonuses and earnings that we've talked about. doTERRA takes 6% of their global worldwide revenue, 6%, and then they split it up. 2% of that 6% global worldwide revenue goes to silvers, golds, and platinums. The other 4% goes to diamonds, blue diamonds, and presidential diamonds. And here's how they split it up. A silver gets 1 share of 2% of the 6% global worldwide. So doTERRA is taking 6% of their overall profits, and they're taking 2% of that 6% and giving it to this group, these 3 groups of people. And each of these groups get a certain number of shares. Silvers get 1 share in the leadership performance pool. Golds get 5 shares and platinums get 10 shares. I can tell you what the average is, and it depends. The average depends on the revenue of the month. Most months, as a silver, my share is right around $200. So as 1 share of a silver, now when I was a gold, the month I was a gold, I got 5 shares of that $200. So what is that? On top of my other earnings, boom, I got a $1,000 bonus. 5 shares of $200, right? So as a silver, I got $200 in this pool, this leadership performance bonus. And then as a gold, I got 5. Once I'm platinum, so sorry. Once I'm platinum, I will get 10 shares of that. So it could be approximately $2,000. Diamonds, and blue diamonds and presidential diamonds, they get twice as much. Fun because they're twice as big too, but they are the people that are bringing the most people into doTERRA, and they're leading all of these people. Kristen Pardue, Stephanie Martin, even though I'm not on her team, that girl's leading me. These people get rewarded not just for bringing more people in, but for leading other people. They motivate, they instruct, they train, they inspire. So these people are getting 4%. So 4% of that 6%, 2% went to this group of people, 4% goes to the diamonds, blue diamonds, presidentials. Diamonds get 1%. Blue diamonds get 1 share, blue diamonds get 2 shares, and presidential diamonds get 3 shares. But there's an extra 1% that is also given to them, 3 shares each. This part, I don't understand. I'll have to listen to Stephanie talk about it again. When she explained it, I was like, oh, this was just last week, you guys. Like, I've been in it almost 5 years, and this part down here, I didn't even know about. So and she explained it, and I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. And I've already forgotten. Doesn't matter. I'm still a gold and I'm still earning. So leadership performance, silver to platinum, if silvers get 1 share of 2% of the company, golds get 5 shares, platinums get 10%, plus one additional share for each new personally enrolled elite. So people that, as long as I did not give away enrollership to anybody, like remember how I told you I had given enrollership a couple people to Sherry, Heather, and Tracy, except for them because I gave them away. You want to hold on to people as long as possible. You don't want to give people away unless ranking up is involved. But you keep enrollership of people you put underneath, because as those people have classes, it happens all the time, as they have classes and become elite, you just got an additional share. So if this was $200 and somebody that I enrolled somewhere down in anywhere from levels 1 to 40, if they became a new elite, I just made an additional $200. Leadership performance pools for diamonds to presidential diamonds. Diamonds get 1, blue diamonds get 2 shares of 4% of 1% of the entire company. Presidential diamonds get 3 shares, and there's other pools too. And once you're a diamond, if you have you get 1 additional share for each newly personally enrolled premier. When I became premier, well, Jessica wasn't diamond yet. So when I became elite, Jessica was my enroller. Jessica got, when I became elite, she was at least a silver. So she received a bonus share for me, right? Once I am diamond, any of my people who turn premier, I will get an additional share, which I believe it's like close to $450 is what I've heard. So a lot of times you'll have, like, when one person becomes elite, like on 4 levels down, you'll have that just made a bunch of other people go elite, because in their organization, if this person down on level 4 becomes elite, because they have $3,000 volume in their organization, maybe the people above them weren't elite, but they just became elite because somebody below them became elite. Because now they each have at least 2,000 or 3,000 in personal volume, right? It just dominoed up. So one person became elite down in level 4, which caused other people to become elite. So that was just an additional $1,000, depending on how far down it was. That's an additional bonus. So that's a one-time thing. When one person becomes elite the first time, that's the only thing else. Everything else is every month that it happens, you get it. But these particular shares are the first time that person becomes elite or premier. It's more than that too. And as those people turn diamond and blue diamond, those shares get monstrous, multiples of thousands of dollars. Okay. So those are the leadership bonuses. Hope that you saw that picture. If you did not, let me know and I will send you the pictures. But this is pretty much it in a nutshell. Leadership bonus is paid monthly to reward leadership, 7% of global volume divided among ranks. And this is a little bit of a summary of that for you. So that is leadership bonus and pools. It's paid on top of everything else. And I do have to say that, let me show you this graph. Unilevel will be by far, I will say, by the time you hit silver, I don't think this graph is right, at least for me. Maybe for an average, but for me, this graph is not right. For me, my Unilevel, I told you in one of the other videos, it's almost like my power of 3 is reversed here. This color is, again, if you saw it from the other videos, this is fast start. Blue is power of 3. Green is unilevel. And these are leadership pools. My biggest check that I get is my unilevel. Gold, it looks like they're power of 3. By the time you're gold, you usually have a $1,500 bonus. I don't. When I hit gold, I did not have a $1,500 bonus. I monthly am silver. I hit gold once. I'm called a gold. I'm not paid gold. Every month I am silver and I get paid as a silver. So let's say that, I don't know how to explain that to you any more than that. When you hit a new rank, you're called a gold. I hit gold once. It was 6 or 8 months ago. Every month since then, I think I did have one really bad month where I dropped back to Premier. Every month since then, even though I'm a gold and will always be called a gold, I'm only getting paid as a silver. I do not have 3 premiers on a regular basis under me, but all of my top 3 ladies are always elite. So this is probably going to happen on a more regular basis in about the next 2 months. It's fairly predictable depending on your builders and what's going on in your team. But anyway, so unilevel, my unilevel is the biggest part of my check. Now, unilevel, once you're silver and above, will be the biggest part of your check. You just heard me talk about those leadership pools, blue diamonds and presidential diamonds. Unilevel is the biggest part of their check. We're talking about tens of thousands of dollars. Leadership pools are amazing, but it still cannot beat unilevel. Presidentials and blue diamonds, people talk about their checks and their percentages, and some people actually give you numbers, but they will almost always, hands down, tell you that the biggest part of their check is unilevel, right? So work for that unilevel. It is the biggest thing to go to. So you work on getting to rank. You want to work on getting to Premier. That is your first goal, is to get to Premier. You will be elite first, but you want to try to look for your 2 top legs. I will help you with that. In the very beginning, you're just looking for somebody that you can put people under, honestly. And if you haven't found anybody in the first couple of months, you need to get a ghost builder, somebody you trust that you will be taking stuff away from them in the future. They can be earning money while they are your ghost builder, but they have an understanding. It's somebody like your mom or your dad or a grandma that does not want to do it as a business, but they wouldn't mind being a ghost builder for you. That's a whole nother lesson. Building this business is ongoing learning, and you will, a lot of things like about the rank, power of 3 bonus, how I made those mistakes, I can teach you how not to make those mistakes. But it is still, I cannot in 1 or 4 or 10 videos teach you everything that I've learned in 5 years. You will learn a lot of it on your own by making mistakes. You'll learn a lot of it on your own by big wins, little wins, and you'll learn a lot of it from me, from other builders, from people like Stephanie Martin and Kristen Pardue and Jessica Easter and Allison Brimblecom, and the people on leaders on your team like Tracy Pierce. You're going to learn a lot from other people. So it is ongoing, and you will grow as a person. I definitely have grown as a person, and in my business understanding and in my oil understanding. So it's an awesome thing, and it's fun to do together. So, okay, I'm going to stop this recording, and I probably will not be doing any more tonight, but we will accumulate these videos as we go. I yawned too much this time.